people think of an effective executive, people have a certain image in their head. It could be an image of a certain manager or CEO from their current employer, a CEO from one of their favorite companies, or from one of their favorite movies. Many of these having very different personalities, values, strengths, and weaknesses. Some being extroverted while some being introverted. But what makes them all effective leaders is that they all follow the same 8 practices. They ask what needs to be done. They ask what is right for the enterprise. They take responsibility for decisions. They take responsibility for communicating. They run productive meetings. They think and say we rather than I. They are focused on opportunities rather than problems. And they develop action plans. These 8 practices are all important for all effective executives. These are also the 8 practices that Elon Musk, CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, follows to be the innovative and effective executive that he is today. I will discuss with you today what it takes to master these 8 practices and how Elon Musk mastered them as CEO. What needs to be done? An effective executive first needs to ask what needs to be done. They don't ask what they want to do, but what has to be done. This usually contains more than one urgent task. Effective executives usually concentrate on 1 or 2 tasks at hand. They set priorities and stick to them. After completing the original top priority task, an effective executive resets priorities rather than moving on to number 2 from the original list. In a 5-year plan, an effective executive picks 2 or 3 tasks on top of the list that they are suited to undertake and delegate the others. When Elon Musk joined Tesla, he was already the founder and CEO of SpaceX. He is working to spearhead the global transition to electric vehicles and solar power. He is also trying to make living on Mars a reality. Elon Musk asks what needs to be done. With our dependency on fossil fuels and our slow deterioration of our world's resources, Elon's purpose is simple. He is determined to revolutionize 3 industries. He has said that he didn't start SpaceX because he thought building rocket ships was going to be great for his portfolio. Colonization of Mars is something that needs to be explored and needs to be done. What is right for the enterprise? They don't ask what is right for the owners, stock price, employees, or the executives, but rather what is right for the enterprise. They know that it is important for them as well, but they also know that the decision that isn't right for the enterprise will not be right for any of the shareholders. Asking the question does not guarantee that the right decision will be made, as mistakes will happen, but failure to ask the questions guarantees the wrong decision. Take the recent decision by Tesla to build and deliver 1,000 Model 3 electric vehicles per month. As many people know, this decision has really taken a toll on Tesla and has the company burning through all its cash. Many shareholders were against this idea, but Elon Musk knows that this is the right decision for the enterprise. If successful, this can be one decision that gets Tesla to be profitable and really puts Tesla as the leaders of the electric car industry. They take responsibility for decisions. A decision has not been made until people know the name of the person accountable for carrying it out, the deadline, the name of the people who will be affected by the decision and therefore have to know about it, understand, and approve it, and the names of the people who have to be informed of the decision even if they are not affected by it. It is just as important to review decisions periodically so a decision can be corrected before it does damage. Such reviews are especially important when it comes to hiring and promotions. Only 1/3 of hiring or promotions of people are successful. Effective executives check up on their decisions, and if they didn't work out, they don't blame the people, they blame themselves. Effective executives also owe it to the company to not tolerate non-performing people in important jobs. People who have failed in new positions should be allowed the chance to go back to their old job at their former salary. Some may not like the idea, but it may be a very strong tool as it may encourage people who are comfortable in their position to take risks and to try new positions. At least they know that if it doesn't work out, they won't be out of a job. This really allows people to shine. Effective executives always make sure that they have the best people in the most important positions. Elon Musk knows that his decision for the aggressive production of Model 3s was his decision. So instead of pointing blame, he has taken responsibility and is working just as hard to make his decision work. It was rumored that he sleeps in the sleeping bag in the production factory to make sure he maximizes the time spent at work. Elon Musk also knows that it is important to hire great people, which he has said is 90% of the solution. Musk knows it is important to not just hire a person for the sake of hiring, but add a person if they are going to help you succeed. Musk challenges his leaders to hire people that are better and smarter than they are, therefore making the company better with each hire. They take responsibility for communicating. An effective executive makes sure that their action plan and the information needs are understood. These plans are to be shared with and asked for comments from all colleagues and peers. This provides them with the most important feedback from the people on the ground floor. An effective executive makes sure that they provide them with the information and tools needed to get the job done. Elon Musk knows that he has to put himself in the shoes of someone who's talented at a world level, and that they have to believe that there's potential for a great outcome and believe in the leader of the company, and that they are the right guy to get the job done. Musk knows that it is important to communicate the vision and goals of the company so that every individual in the company believes it. This is important when attracting the best people into the company and getting them all to work together on the shared vision. Musk also knows that companies usually communicate through the chain of command. This approach enhances the power of the manager, but which can delay many problems from getting solved quickly. So to prevent this, Musk made a policy at Tesla which allows any employee to email or talk to anyone else according to what they think is the fastest way to solve a problem for the benefit of the whole company. They run productive meetings. Studies have shown that most executives are in meetings more than half of every business day. If these meetings are to be effective, they must be productive. In order for a meeting to be productive, you first need to determine what kind of meeting it is going to be. Different kind of meetings requires different preparation. For example, if a meeting is held to make an announcement, the meeting should be confined to the announcement and a discussion about it. If the meeting is held for one member's report, then nothing but the report should be discussed. To make a meeting productive, an executive needs to determine what kind of meeting is appropriate and stick to the format. It is important to terminate the meeting as soon as the purpose is accomplished. Elon Musk approaches meetings the same way he approaches every aspect of his work. With his very driven style, he has mastered his practice of efficient meetings by following 4 key practices. 1. He requires that everyone be prepared so that they all have to be well researched and fully ready for prime time. 2. He expects everything to be reduced to basic facts. He relies on basic truths and facts rather than on comparisons to what has already been done. 3. He keeps a long-term vision in sight. Although many people may be discouraged with failures along the way, Elon Musk makes sure that they remain connected to the long-term vision. 4. He doesn't want anyone to expect more at meetings than they are already doing themselves. He has said that no matter how hard someone is working, there is always someone that is working harder. They think and say we rather than I. Elon Musk knows that he has to lead by example. He knows that as CEO, he has to do all the kind of tasks that he does not want to do. He knows that if his employees are putting in 40-hour work weeks, that he has to put in 100-hour work weeks. Musk also knows that talent is important and is like a sports team. The team with the best individual player will often win, but then there's a multiplier for how those players work together and the strategy they employ. Musk knows that teamwork is a necessity for any company to succeed. Musk knows it is important to employ a team that operates in a cohesive and team-oriented fashion. This sense of pride has to start with leadership. Elon Musk leads by doing more than telling. He sets an example that truly inspires his team. They are focused on opportunities rather than problems. Problems definitely have to be taken care of, but problem solving does not produce results. It prevents damage. Exploiting opportunities produces results. An effective executive looks at changes and asks how the company can exploit these changes as an opportunity. Some changes to exploit include new knowledge or new technology, innovation in a process, an unexpected success or failure, and changes in the industry. Effective executives make sure that problems do not overwhelm opportunities. To help, effective executives put forth the best people on opportunities rather than on problems. Elon Musk has had many failures in his lifetime. Through it, he continues to encourage innovation. Musk knows that failure is not an option, and if things are not failing, you are not being innovative enough. At SpaceX, the first 3 launches failed. Musk took that as an opportunity to learn and innovate. Musk knows that if someone allows themselves to be consumed by their failures, innovation is impossible. Musk enables and encourages employees to step out of their traditional way of thinking and put forth new ideas. Musk knows that challenges are going to arise, but as a successful leader, he is able to adapt in any situation and continue pushing forward with a long-term vision. They develop action plans. To an effective executive, knowledge is useless until it has been translated into deeds. Before action, an executive needs to plan their course by thinking about desired results, probable restraints, future revisions, check-in points, and implications for how they will spend their time. An action plan should be revised often because every success and failure creates new opportunities. If the environment changes for any reason, the plan should be revised as well. An effective executive builds 2 checks into their action plans. The first check usually comes halfway in the plan time period, and the second check usually occurs at the end of the plan. Time is the most important resource for an executive, so it's important that the action plan includes details on how the executive is to spend his or her time. Elon Musk developed an action plan for Tesla and explained his plan in the Master Plan Part Dukes memo he released last year. His plan is for Tesla to force the hand of top auto manufacturer and electricity suppliers so it becomes necessary to embrace the technologies and release serious offerings. His plan has 4 specific goals. To create stunning solar roofs with integrated battery storage. To expand the electric vehicle product line. To develop a self-driving capability that is safe. And to enable your car to make you money when you aren't using it. When it comes to SpaceX, Musk's original plan was to greatly reduce the cost of access to space. With many failures came many opportunities. Now the action plan for SpaceX has been revised to include access to Mars, as he considers the colonization of Mars to be a real possibility and even to be a necessity. Through my presentation, you have learned that although many effective executives may have very different personalities, values, strengths, and weaknesses, what makes them all effective is that they all follow the same 8 practices. They ask what needs to be done. They ask what is right for the enterprise. They take responsibility for decisions. They take responsibility for communicating. They run productive meetings. They think and say we rather than I. They are focused on opportunities rather than problems. And they develop action plans.